Hi, friends. My name is Megan, and I am a former world-class procrastinator. My entire family will vouch for it. And for years, I thought this was something I was just going to live with forever. Now, today, I'm going to be breaking down with you 4 reasons why people procrastinate, and it's not because you're lazy. At the end of the day, the main reasons people procrastinate is it's either energy mismatch, it's lack of clarity, it's something you just flat out don't want to do, or you're flooded in overwhelm. Anytime I have the desire to procrastinate, I'm always walking through these 4 to figure out for myself, what is it that's going on that's making me want to avoid the thing that I really should be doing right now? So, reason number 1, let's just talk about the obvious one, right? It just may be a task that you don't like doing, especially when it comes to tasks around cleaning my house and even some tasks as a business owner. There's some stuff I just don't enjoy. I don't love everything that needs to get done. And when that happens, one of the best tools that you can use is what we call temptation bundling, where I pair something I enjoy that I can be doing or listening to, etc., or even a reward for getting that task done. The second reason a lot of times people procrastinate is they've planned on doing a task at the time of day where they do not have the right energy level. And I cover this a lot inside of my top program, which stands for Time Management, Organization, and Productivity. And it's one of the inputs that we bring to our weekly planning process, because when you learn how to plan the right tasks for the right time of day or week that align with your energy, it increases the success of getting it done, and it decreases the chance that you're going to want to procrastinate. The third reason why people procrastinate is there may be something on your list for the day or even in your plan that's really vague, and you're kind of not sure how to get started. I'm going to give a silly example, but maybe you have on your list for the day to remodel your entire living room, and that's all that's sitting there. But you haven't taken the time ahead of time to break down what does that look like to have one small implementable task. Again, we really cover this heavily inside of the top program, how to take those vague things, how to break them down into a meaningful action plan, and then what that looks like when you sit down to create your weekly plan. Because when you fix that, you're going to reduce the chances of you actually wanting to procrastinate. Now, for the rest of this video, I want to take a deep dive into the fourth one, because this is one that goes kind of unseen and hidden a little bit. The other 3 are kind of more obvious, that I don't want to, I don't have the energy for it, or I'm a little unclear on what that first step is. All right, those are ones that are a little bit easier to spot. But the fourth one is when you are in complete overwhelm. Your nervous system is flat out flooded, and it paralyzes you. And there's so much to do, but we're frozen and can't figure out what to do when, that we just end up not doing it at all. So I'm sure you can relate if you've ever looked at your, task list or your plan for the day or week, and your brain just goes blank of like, I don't even know where to start. That's what I want to spend the rest of our time here. So, what does I call this overwhelm driven procrastination. So, what does overwhelm driven procrastination look like? It's when the list keeps going. At the end of the day, you keep carrying over tasks day after day after day. You're not even sure if you have the right tasks on there. And you're maybe waking up at 2, 3 in the morning with your brain spinning, right? That is low grade dread. And when we are flooding our nervous system and we're getting completely overwhelmed with everything that we have to juggle, what happens is we kind of shut down, and really good decision making skills are no longer available to us. So it's not that we're procrastinating in the traditional sense of, oh, I just want to avoid this hard task, right? Or, oh, I don't feel like it. It's that a flooded brain cannot prioritize or kickstart into motion. The procrastination actually becomes a symptom of the overall problem being overwhelmed, right? So the procrastination becomes the symptom, not the actual problem. What I want to walk you through is the first step that you can go through anytime this is happening to you. The tool I love to use is to grab a pack of sticky notes. All right, now you could do this on paper, but there's a reason why I like sticky notes. And it doesn't have to be this exact size, it can be smaller as well. And I will set a timer for 10 minutes. I don't let myself do this for longer than 10 minutes. And most of the time, I stop writing after about 5. And I want you to write down every single thing that is swirling in your brain as a have to onto a sticky note. And it's one thing per sticky note. I will often find a space in my house that has a large chunk of empty wall, or sometimes I'll just do it on my dining room table. And as I'm writing, I write one thing and I stick it down. I write the next and I stick it down. All right. I'm not prioritizing. I'm not thinking how long anything is taking. What I'm doing is I'm showing my brain that we are releasing it from here and we're getting it out onto the sticky notes. And I will keep writing till either I can't think of anything else or the timer goes off. Now, if the timer goes off and there's still more stuff, it's okay, walk away, because I guarantee you the most important things have already been surfaced onto the sticky notes. Now, once you've done that initial first step, walk away for at least 5 minutes. I will, if the weather permitting, actually go outside and do a little 5 to 10-minute walk. Grounding yourself in nature also helps to reduce that overwhelm and quiets that flooding. Once I've taken that short break, I will come back in and I will look at the pile of sticky notes and I will read through each one with the lens of this question. Does this have to happen in the next 48 hours? Or would there be a serious consequence if it doesn't happen? Okay. And I really want you to think about it just through the lens of what would be the consequence if this does not happen in the next 48 hours. Maybe I see a sticky note that says we need to go grocery shopping. But I realize, we've got stuff for breakfast around here and we could actually order dinner out for the next 2 nights. Maybe that's not a have to. Now, maybe it is because there's absolutely no food in the house, right? Only you get to decide what that is. So with each and every sticky note, I'm asking myself, is this a have to in the next 48 hours? If it's a yes, I pick that sticky note up, all right, and I build those into my hand. Once I've read through all of them, I take my pile of yeses and I go to my actual calendar, which for me is a physical planner, all right? For you, it might be your Google or iCal. And then I look at what's on my calendar for the next 48 hours. And as I look at each of my have to sticky notes, I assign an actual appointment on my calendar for when I'm getting each one of those done. I don't just turn it into a list and trying to decide in the moment what to do. I'm scheduling each one of those sticky notes into my calendar for the next 48 hours because now it turns it from a what to a when. What do I do next versus here is when I'm doing it. So once I've scheduled the 48-hour sticky notes, then I get into action. Now I'm shifting gears and I'm just executing my plan. I am using that 48-hour plan to guide me through those next 48 hours. That is the very first step that you want to do. Now, once those 48 hours are done, there's a process that we go through with the remaining sticky notes. There's 2 more steps to this. And if you want to take a deep dive in understanding the entire framework on what we do when we are completely paralyzed and overwhelmed, I invite you to grab my free cheat sheet called Ditch the Overwhelm. All right, I've got a link for it down here in the description for you. It will give you a great review of step 1 of this process, and then it's going to tell you what to do after those 48 hours are up, because there's 2 more really important steps that kind of help get you back on top and into your regular planning motion. But even if all you do is that step 1, it will get you unstuck. And again, reminding yourself, you're not procrastinating, you're just flooded. You're not lazy, you're just flooded. You're overwhelmed. And this will get you out of that state and back into action. All right, friends, happy planning. I'll see you back here on our next video.